future us, what you're about to see is us thrifting Dublin. We are now currently waiting for the ferry to vamos out of here back to the UK. Austin's over there hiding. The footage you're gonna see is we went to some vintage shops. We did some actual charity shops which were mad. You'll see that now, and then we'll touch base again with you at the end of the video, hopefully when we're maybe on the other side.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, this trip, I think we're going to do a video maybe on like downloading and processing Ireland as a place as a whole in terms of thrifting and how we did, because I think it wasn't that it wasn't good, but I think it put us off kilter in terms of vlogging, because it wasn't how we expected.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Usually we just strap a camera on, we go, we film, we buy things, and we put a beginning and end on it. It was hard. And it was so different. And once again, you're going places you don't know about. You're going areas you don't know. You're going places where it can be hit and miss. Yeah. Like, you just don't know. You'll
see that in the next, you would have seen that already in the videos previous to this. But
there's definitely an interesting aspect of what we do, and it's definitely a change for us, and I guess for you guys to see the difference.
But Dublin will show you that. We're now getting the ferry. We decided to extend our little trip a little bit. We booked a, you probably already know because you probably already said, we booked a hotel at Cheshire Outlet. We've never been because it's far from us, but it will split up the journey home. I think we're going to go thrifting tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're literally about to get on the ferry. We're going to move now. And we'll see you back on UK soil.
You will.
Bye.
Guess where we are? You already know. It's soaking wet. I won't bore you.
Number one tourist hotspot in the whole of Dublin. This is Temple Bar. Temple Bar. So we thought we would head to Temple Bar as a starting point, because I find
what's the most touristy place we could find? That's what we thought, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know all the names of the streets, so please don't shout me. But like Grafton Street, and then the other one over the other road is they're quite highly populated with chain stores.
Yeah,
does that
agreed.
make sense?
Yeah, it's the kind of like, it's the tourist hub, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, so I thought we'd go to Temple Bar and then work out from there. We got the old Google Maps out
For the charity shops.
You can literally just type in charity shops near me and it maps all the ones near you. I know. Handy,
Clever stuff,
dandy.
isn't it?
And then you can put it on walk
Good
mode.
old Google.
And it just follows you around using all the magical satellites in the world. This is not an advert for Google, simply an advert for common sense. That was one of those ships that goes in the sea. Anyway,
You mean the cars that go in the sea? Because the ship that goes in the sea is just a ship.
Yeah. I meant a car that also drives on land. What we did find on
our car drives on land.
Oh God, I give up.
Will you stop?
What we did find on our travels to the charity shops, at this point we're pretty deflated by thrifting in Ireland in general.
Yeah.
So we were very lackadaisical, but we did find some, what I can describe, how can I describe them?
Resale stores?
Resale stores.
High-end, designer, luxury.
For all intents and purposes, however, I found the problem with most of these were there was a very healthy mix of counterfeit and real.
Yeah, I'd say there was a sprinkling for sure.
And they were priced the same.
Yes. Because I guess either like I don't know, I don't know why that's kind of them, isn't it, and not us to answer that question. But yeah, nonetheless they were.
Well, I find the message, although we were talking about in the last video, but I find the message confusing in a shop like this is because it's advertised as a designer.
Yeah, no, you should know your stuff. If you're a designer store and you're selling designer inverted commas or luxury items
at high prices, so it's not cheap and it's not you know.
Should 100% know what's real, what's not, and you shouldn't. You should have that kind of that's your jam, isn't it?
Yeah, that's your specialty, if you will.
Yeah.
And I understand. I know we had a lot of comments in the last video. I understand there is a want for counterfeit goods, and there is a sort of as long as if it's a bargain, then people still want it. But this isn't advertising. This is strictly advertising as It's giving the illusion of real.
Yes, 100%. It's a designer store, of course.
Yeah.
And because some of the prices you said are so high, for example, this is gorgeous. This is a vintage YSL heart-shaped gold button suit.
This is spectacular. So a vintage piece, you can find a lot of jewellery that goes alongside this era of product from Yves Saint Laurent. The heart-shaped buttons, they do belts that match, etc.
Just before we get off that, I just want to say, I'll put a comp here. I found the jacket, that was €200, by the way, in this store. I found the jacket for just over 400. I'll pop the comp up here for the jacket alone. So once again, just because these are designer stores, don't think you can't retail arbitrage and make some serious money in them.
100%. There's margins in everything. It just depends what your margins are and what your outlay of stock is and what kind of pieces you want to have in your store, etc.
This is beautiful.
This, for example, was a 90s, early 2000s John Galliano.
Great hair there, that lady.
Yeah, fantastic, actually. Knitted piece with the Dior bobbles on the front. Iceberg, but like the creme de la creme of Iceberg, which is the cartoon stuff, the more pop arty stuff. It's always like fun as resellers and people, if you want to get into sort of the higher end luxury or you just have an interest in it, is to go to these second-hand or pre-owned boutiques, even if the prices are of a higher retro grade and you can see what's going for a little bit more. Just take it with a grain of salt that not everything is authentic.
Yeah, and do your research, your homework. The other thing is, I would say, another good reason to, I think that lady's just saying there's downstairs as well. Another good reason to actually go to one of these stores, even if you have no want or need to buy, is to see, for example, most of the stuff in this store right now, as of this I'm being shown a fancy colouring book there, which I believe was purchased later. But you'll see the era that it's popular at the moment. So, for example, everything there was late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that means basically that's what people are buying.
Well, yeah, there's obviously a demand for it, for our store to independently stock 95% of it.
That era, that's what I'm saying. But for most people, they would just be like, oh, it's just a designer piece. Well, no, if you ever look deeper into it, you can actually tell what is selling.
Yeah.
By just what they're stocking.
And that can be reflected as well. So if we look at that Yves Saint Laurent suit, for example, £200, which technically is a little bit under market value, therefore there is money to be made. That in relative terms to this shop, which is predominantly 90s Y2K, then that's not probably your go-to piece, a tailored suit with heart buttons.
Not at all.
So they priced it under market for their customer.
I would actually say the reason that's been picked out personally, I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, but it would be the colour. If that were in black, the buttons are cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not a standout piece in black.
No.
In blue, like, it's a real banger.
Speak for yourself, black is an elite colour.
No, I'm saying that suit.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so we're moving along to the charity shops now. It was a particularly rainy day, I'm not going to lie to you. So on this
let's roll that back. Every single day was a particularly rainy day.
Yeah. On this street, there was 3 charity shops. I don't know what the street is. I do know it's parallel to Temple Bar.
It's very central.
That wants to know. And I found Dublin charity shops to be superb.
Talk with me about this. This
is the Couples. The Couples is a higher echelon brand. They do have high street stores, but I wouldn't categorize it as a high street brand.
That was the sport range, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's higher than like LK Bennett, for example, but not as high as like Palm Angels, right?
Yeah.
And they do a brand which is called the Sport brand, which is more casual, ready to wear stuff. You're looking out for things with the skulls, anything grungy, anything sort of whimsical 90s look, ideally from that brand.
So this is a amazing piece. This is a new Burberry polo shirt. It has Burberry, proper Burberry wash tags. It has the label inside which says uniform. And for anyone who doesn't know, that is basically a Burberry uniform as of maybe a year and a half ago, when they changed the logos and they changed it back to the TB.
They've gone back now.
Yeah, they've gone back again, to the original Burberrys. So that uniform, although it says uniform in it, obviously it's an authentic Burberry shirt. It's made by Burberry themselves. It's not just kind of a shipped out piece. And I think what's quite interesting is they do the exact same polo. Burberry make that polo, and it's about €600.
Yeah.
I'll put a comp up here.
We actually sold that on our Posh show if anyone's
interested. And someone got a steal.
You can see there we paid €22. they had multiple of them, but one was as new, which is the one we bought, and then there was a couple that had fade, wash fade, you know.
As anyone who has given uniform would know, like usually they give you 3 or 4 items at a time, so you've got kind of enough in your wardrobe to be able to work.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that one wasn't worn.
I was interested, they had a lot of obviously corporate donations from some higher echelon brands, but they appeared to be what I would call Irish independent designers, but it was very interesting, and that I've never heard of the brands before, but upon researching, it was there was
good, some big many pieces.
What was it? Good knowledge to gain on sort of more independent designers.
I'm with you.
This was the Couple Sport again. They make this piece. This is a cult piece. They make it with a half zip. They make it in sport, and they also make it in full line. The Couple.
That kind of splash design.
They're literally the same top.
When I was actually that's interesting. When I was actually buying these, Bethany just caught these out, and she was like, look what I found. These are Allbirds. I know a lot of people know about Allbirds as regards a sneaker or I guess athleisure brand, I guess you'd say. These are the wool ones. That we've sold multiple pairs of these. They're always very popular, always go very well, always go for anything between 40 and I think we've done 60 on a pair.
We haven't actually sold these ones yet, and I'm going to put it down to the red.
I'm going to agree with you, actually. These were really pretty much like the soles needed cleaning, which I've done, and they're really, really nice. The wool is just so different, but the red, I agree. I think the two of the pairs we sold, and they sold very quickly, were the grey and I want to say either a black or a dark grey.
Yes,
yeah?
They've always been of a more, I don't want to say unisex, because obviously red could be worn by anyone.
No, but an easy, let's say they're an easier wear.
Yeah, that's right, okay, fine.
So these were 15 euros, I want to say.
Which is a bit spicier. More recently, we're going to talk about it in another video. More recently, we've actually started to look at our inventory in a different way in terms of the cost of goods.
Or maybe we'll don't give too much away now. Maybe we'll give it. We'll put in the comments if you'd like us to go through how we kind of price and work out pricing on what we will or won't spend, or what we do now going forward and what we've changed. We'll do a video on it if you want. But put in the comments if you're interested. If you're not, just say nah.
It was largely changed because of the work we've been doing on POSHMARK. So
yeah, and we can go into that as well, I guess. No.
Yeah. Anyway, so this was the second one along the street. This one was don't be deceived by looks. This one was fantastic.
It was great.
At the time of purchase, everything in the stock, everything in the shop was 50% off in women's.
Women's, yes. I was just going to say everything women's was 50% off, no matter what it was. Dresses, accessories, shoes, whatever, yeah.
Yes,
you're right.
all of women's
ladies wear, yeah.
was. And it was a hunt. I'm not going to lie to you. It was, they put me to work.
I'd spotted something on the way up the stairs. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to make a quick interlude to this.
What is it then?
It's
you have to say what it is then.
It's a Billionaire Boys Club jacket. Billionaire Boys Club was a streetwear brand started by Pharrell Williams, who now happens to be the creative director for menswear of Louis Vuitton, which once again is quite a departure. This was brand new at tags. I think it was up for around about, I want to say €200, €250, and would have been worth every penny. Look at the thread count. Look at the toweling patch. It's a beautiful thing. It was 100% authentic. And yeah, I'll put a comp up for the original here.
He also has ice creams, doesn't he?
He does he has ice cream as well. I think ice cream still sells. I know BBC still sells well. I don't know if ice cream is still kind of around. If it is, it might have been sold. I don't know.
And it's done collabs as well with other brands, isn't it?
100%, yes. Some big collabs, actually.
Anyway, so here's the piece. Here are some pieces I found. So I found some Max Mara here. There's a lot of Max Mara in Dublin.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, so this is a great 90s piece. High neck. It's giving Rachel. It's 100% wool, which I found very interesting. I also picked up this COS new label piece. Max Mara code. So it's got the sequin layer. These were all, I have to say, if they didn't have the 50%...
Was that Max Mara colour or was that Sports Max?
Sports Max, sorry.
Yeah.
If they didn't have the 50% discount, it was very spenny.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you could get... I'm not to say you couldn't get some great items, but what I'm saying is, as regards just regular charity shop thrifting resellers, it would have been on the upper echelon for buying some of these things, and probably most of these things, not most, some of the things we would have left behind.
And they did have the labels.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a Filagio.
So random.
They did have the labels, they did have the brands, and they did have the quality. And
they were all nice pieces, though, as in quality, weren't they?
I would go prepared to spend, but there is margin. And anyway, under the desk in a minute, I did find a banger, and we did feature them on a Posh Show, and we did feature them on our Instagram, so follow us at the Luxury Pickers. Under the desk here was women's shoes, but which were also included in the half price sale, and I found a pair of Jimmy Choos. Also, we'll put the current retail of them on because they're a current retail pair.
Yep.
They were €55, but obviously
half
with
price.
a discount, so they were absolute bargain of the century.
Hello. Say hello.
There are lots of people here looking at us.
Where are we?
Dublin.
Where have we been?
Fair City. Well, girls are so pretty.
They are.
And I first set my eyes.
Hit it.
Street Molly below.
Okay.
Waterworld Arrow. Some streets broad and narrow. Singing couples and muscles alive and life. We're in Dublin. We just listened to House Concert. They were amazing.
I've already been, I guess, before this. Well, actually, we decided we're going to extend our trip. So, although we get the ferry still tonight, in like 2 hours, we are going to get a hotel near Cheshire Oaks, which is another designer outlet, and also in Cheshire in general. And they also have amazing charity shops, so we've got to hit those as well. So
they called it the Golden Triangle, don't they?
I match our puff, you know, from walking and talking.
Where are we going again?
Cheshire.
They call it the Golden Triangle.
Do they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've heard it being said.
Anyway.
And if not, we can see out there.
We're about to just whip back now to the shopping mall area after doing some thrifting, because Becky wants to look at some stuff. And
Retail
so
arbitrage. Because the department store here is called Allbirds, so it's brown Thomas Allen's, but they're in both Selfridges. So they have the luxury brands and they've got like 60% off.
And Bethany, she said retail arbitrage, but you know, it's like the kind of retail arbitrage that ends up coming home, you know?
Yeah, well, you buy one, you get one free. So you buy one.
You get one free?
No, you buy one to sell, you get one free.
Okay, no?
And just so everyone knows, I haven't found any around knits at all, apart from the shops. So.
Lil, you found some cool stuff?
Yes. Okay.
Nice one, Lil. We'll see in a little bit. What'd you get, Lil? What did you get? Lip gloss? Show me lips. What did you get? What did you get?
Nothing. The Pro.
We'll see. All right. Let's pay. There you go. Video on video. Any happiness there? What'd you say, Lil? Say bye.
I do understand with the Jimmy Choos, we're lucky enough to be able to authenticate on spot. Austin used to work for Jimmy Choo. And I think the charity shop had them up at a good price.
They did indeed.
I think it's very reasonable for without authenticity.
Exactly that. They no box. If they'd been tried on, that's all they'd been done. So they were a steal. They were really well. And at half price of that, €55 was a bargain.
I'd highly recommend Dublin for thrifting, and we're definitely going to go back and concentrate a bit more on Dublin. I know people
so much fun, didn't we,
always recommend Belfast to us, so we need to get up there. I know.
We're going to do another island trip soon, as you said, because we do have family there, so we'll do that again. But we think, like you said, this time we'll do Dublin. Let's see how that goes, kind of head to head, if you will.
Woo woo.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. We will see you soon. Bye.